Hey everybody, thanks so much for being here. It is Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern. Welcome to today's Lunch Lesson Live. Today we are talking about Instagram tricks. So I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully you will get some tips on how to grow your Instagram account, right? That's something I think we all strive for. But more importantly, it's great to have a great following, but more importantly, we want to get leads, right? Actual qualified leads from Instagram. That's really the whole point. We want to get people into our system and to make more sales, right? That's the goal of our business. Okay, so if you're watching on the live, tell me live below, or if you're watching on the replay, just say replay below. I would love to know who's here on the day of and who's watching later on the replay. So thanks so much for being here. Give me a little thumbs up if you're here so I know that you can hear me okay. Hopefully my microphone is working. So thanks so much to everyone who voted. I put out a little poll on Tuesdays every week to talk about what we're going to discuss on the Lunch Lesson Live. So if you have any ideas for what you'd like to talk about, or if you want to vote on, I give it like usually a few different topics. So if you want to vote each week, feel free to contribute to the poll, right? You can always just add suggestions as well to the poll on Tuesdays. So I'd love to know what is helpful to your business so that we can talk about stuff that's helpful, right? So feel free to vote on the poll every Tuesday, or feel free to send me any suggestions on ideas for what you want to talk about or what you want to learn about that would be helpful to your business. Okay, so today we're talking about Instagram tricks. This is for mompreneurs, coaches, really anyone who has a business who is trying to get leads on Instagram. This is really for you. So definitely stick around for that. So, and just give me a little thumbs up if you can hear me okay, or a little wave. I would love to know that, that everything sounds good on your end. So I love to always say this at the beginning of most videos, we're all striving to stay in our abundant mindset, right? So just take a minute to really think about what that means. So abundant mindset, right? I always say like, oh yeah, for sure I have abundant mindset, but I really have to get into the mode of feeling like things are possible and that the information that I'm gonna receive, right, is something that will help me grow. So that's really what I think every time you get on some kind of training, or every time you're getting it onto a call or getting some information, receiving, really hope that you can open your mind to receiving new stuff and be willing to grow, right? That's what we're all in business for, is to grow and learn and grow, let that help grow our businesses, right? That's really the whole point of learning and sharing information with each other. So yeah, so open your minds, right? That's what we're doing. So stay in your abundant mindset, and feel free to let me know, right? If you feel like you are being dragged down by any doubt or fears, right? I think I'm gonna start talking a little bit more about those things that kind of hold us back, those limiting beliefs that really are kind of holding us back from taking the next step in our business. So that's definitely a topic for the future. Let me know if you feel like you have any limiting beliefs, right? Maybe we don't want to admit that sometimes, but if you feel like you have limiting beliefs, say limiting below, and I would love to chat with you more about some of those things that hold us back. Okay, so if you're new here, right, if you've seen any of my other videos, my name is Kristina. I have been helping businesses really for the last 10 years. My husband and I opened a little bike shop, coffee shop back in 2014. And we learned very quickly, right? We had to get actual bodies into our doors. So we learned very quickly that marketing is such a crucial part. You cannot just build it and they will come, right? That's really what I feel like we get stuck in that mindset as entrepreneurs online. We think, oh my God, I'm gonna make these beautiful posts, I'm gonna put it out here, and people will find me, people will come. And right, we tend to find it's a little bit more challenging than that. It takes a little bit more of a strategy to really get people to, one, come in your door, or two, find you online and then take action, right? So that's really the strategy about marketing, is it's not just about posting, although it's really good to start there, because that's really where you fine-tune your message, but it's really a little bit more, taking that step further. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So at the bike shop, right, we were I think we took fairly good advantage of Instagram. This was 10 years ago, so I don't know that, certainly I didn't know as much as I know now about Instagram, but I wish I had taken that extra step. I wish I had known what I know now, is how to get people to act on Instagram, right? For the most part, it's been, I think, a pretty place for pictures, right? If you remember way back when, it was really designed for making a beautiful profile, right? And so many people had like, and still do, right? Create like cute ways of making your profile perfect. And that's awesome, right? If you're able to do that and you want to do that and you like doing that, I think making a pretty profile is great. I think Instagram is certainly the place for beautiful pictures. But if you're in it for your business and you are trying to get leads from Instagram, I think it takes a little bit more than just creating beautiful content and hoping people will come, right? It kind of takes that extra step of having an overall strategy. So that's what we're really going to talk about today. So yeah, back to the bike shop. I really think that we utilized, more so than Instagram, we utilized Facebook. So I will say this with a caveat that I really think if you are a coach or an entrepreneur, or you are trying to get business online, I really think one of the most effective ways of getting actual leads is really through Facebook groups. So just like this group, right? I really think that is where you can set yourself apart from all the other coaches around, all the other people kind of in your industry. It's really where you can build your community and get people to know and trust and like you, right? That's really kind of the goal, and to start building these genuine relationships. That's really what I love about the Facebook group, is it really gets you a little bit more face-to-face, a little bit more actual conversations to then, start building a working relationship with people. So that's really the goal, I think. So with that, I think Instagram is really about using Instagram for your target audience. I really think that is the benefit of Instagram. If anyone has noticed, right, Instagram is really hard to get anyone to do anything, quite honestly, right? I think getting anyone to do anything online, right, is really hard because we're all, our own people. So if you notice your own habits, right, especially on Instagram, you are mostly just scrolling, right? Occasionally you might like something, but very rarely are you actually going to click on someone's profile and then click on their links in the bio, right? That's really the only place that people can click. And I really think, like I said, over the last 10 years that I've been on Instagram and helping other businesses be on Instagram, Instagram is never the biggest converter in over a decade, right? It is just harder unless you are really viral and have a great following and are really getting a lot of views. It's really hard to convert to actual paying customers. So it's really to keep that in mind, right? If you're spending all of your effort on Instagram and it's not working, let's talk, right? Because it's really hard, I think, to get conversion on Instagram because it's just not clickable. Right? It's really hard to get people to click. It's just not a clickable environment. It's really just not set up for that. There are two places, and this is a little bit of a trick, you probably know, but there are two places that you can have a clickable link, which I would always suggest utilizing. Certainly in your profile, right? Most of us know you can have a link in your profile and you can have multiple links in your profile. And I think that's perfectly okay. If you have multiple links, take advantage of, you can label those links as different things. So if you see in my Instagram profile, right, I have like, here's, the link to the blog, here's the link to the Facebook group, here's the link to, I think, to schedule a call. So whatever is important to you, you can have those links with different labels. So try that. That's the only place really that's clickable. The other place is in highlights. So you can create a story and then add it to your highlights, and you'll notice, right, it stays in those little bubbles at the top of your profile. And I think that is another really handy place to have links, right? It's really the only other clickable place. And so you can play around with that, right? Often I will share a post to story, and there's some school of thought, right, that can be effective or not effective. But if you're starting somewhere, I would say start there, right? Share a post to your story, and then add a link, and then save that to a highlight. What I like about the highlights, right, is that you can have little different categories of your business, which is really nice, right? If you have like a little about section, or start here, or get to know me, or click here to book a call, whatever. It's nice if you have different offerings in your business or different categories. You can kind of organize them at the top of your profile. So I think that's what's nice. I don't know that a lot of people are honestly clicking on there, and that's why I just say this with a big caveat that Instagram is just not the clickable environment, right? It's just really hard, I think, to get people to do much on Instagram. So the first real big tip of Instagram is, I would say, if you are trying to grow your followers, and of course we all want more, right? More is more. So if you're trying to grow your followers, the best way to do that is to follow your audience, right? So I really think being strategic about Instagram, I really think that's the benefit of Instagram, is finding your target audience, because you can search for users, search for hashtags, you can search and find your people, your target audience. So if you're looking for moms, obviously there's lots of moms using lots of hashtags with moms in them. If you're looking for wellness, people in the health and wellness industry, right? There's a lot of people using health and wellness hashtags, or even have that listed in their username. So definitely, I think following people in your target audience is the best way to grow followers, because most of them will follow you back. As well as Instagram will then start to show you more of those people in your target audience. If you're searching and following those people, you will get more follows. Then same thing, if you're wanting more likes and comments, which is engagement, right? The best way to get likes and comments is to like and comment on other people's profiles. I really think that's true. So if you are looking for a particular target audience, right, and most of us are really trying to fine-tune and define our target audience. So you can find them on Instagram and then follow, like, and comment on their profiles, and they most likely will for sure notice you, right? Because it gives you a little notification that someone has commented, right? So they would get that notification, hey, so-and-so has commented, and then they would probably check out your profile. So those are great ways to really grow and get more engagement. So definitely I would start interacting with your target audience. That's really number one, the first tip. So the second tip is really, and this is where I get a lot of pushback, right? If you are comfortable in the DMs, I would say you are probably 80% of the way there. So a lot of people get hung up on the DMs. I get it. There is a lot of riffraff and a lot of spam in the DMs. But here's what I would say is, if your target audience is on Instagram, right, and most of our target audiences are, and they are liking and interested in your content, they are scrolling and they're gone, right? It's not that they're not interested. They probably have liked it or followed you, but then they are gone and they have found other stuff, right? They're just scrolling. So in their busy day, similar to yours, right, that you're just kind of scrolling, you're gonna forget about people that you're interested in their services, right? You're just scrolling and liking and scrolling and liking. That is your opportunity to then take the next step. So I always say, if someone has liked your profile, or I'm sorry, has followed you for one, but if they have liked your content, if they have commented on your content, I think that is an open door to reach out to them on the DMs and say, hey, I saw that you like this content. How do you feel about such and such? What do you think of blah, blah, blah? Like, this is a great way, if that's your target audience and they have responded in some way with a like or a comment, that is a great open door to start a conversation. Some people may never respond, and that's okay, right? But the DMs in Instagram, I think, is the best way, one of the best ways to really start those genuine relationships and start those genuine conversations. Hey, I saw that you, thanks so much for your content. Thanks for the love. I checked out your profile. You know, I saw that you're doing blah, blah, blah. Just start those general conversations. And if that's the part that's really kind of holding you back, let's talk about that, because I love coming up with like a script, right? And I can certainly help with that, is coming up with kind of a set dialogue that you can start with someone to really just start a genuine conversation. And what I think, again, kind of going back to the Facebook group, right? Like I said, Instagram is just so not clickable, right? It's really hard to get people to do anything. But if you have that, I think, very neutral invitation, if you're focused on getting people to your Facebook group, I think that is a really neutral invitation on the DMs. So if you are, commenting and liking on other people's profile and you're finding your target audience and you'd really like to work with someone that you're finding, if you reach out to them on the DMs, I think it is a really neutral invitation to be like, hey, I saw that you liked that we were talking about, health and wellness, or I saw that you were talking about, your goals for your business. We're talking about this. I'm sharing free tips over in my Facebook group. I'd love to have you. It's a really neutral. You're not selling. You're not trying to get something out of them. You're really just saying, hey, I've got this free offer. I'd love to have you over here. I think it really is a neutral invitation, and it helps you not feel salesy, but also you're giving something to them, that they honestly are interested in. If they've already shown interest in your content, in your profile, in anything, right? I think that's an open door. So that's really the tip number 2, is really start the DMs, right? And that's definitely, I think, where a lot of people get hung up, because there's a lot of riffraff and spammy DMs out there, right? But you don't have to be that, right? You can just set the standard that you're not going to be the sleazy salesperson in the DMs, right? And you can make it what you want. So really, that is a great way to start those conversations. And, I think the riffraff will get flushed out in the wash, right? That I think the more you DM people of genuine nature, the less riffraff that you'll start to see. So if you're getting a lot of DMs, a lot of spammy DMs, I think the more that you start genuine DMs, I think the less of that spammy will happen, if that makes sense. You can also, report any spammy DMs, and you'll start getting less, obviously, of those. So if that's something, that you're struggling with, if you feel like you're using DMs, I would love to hear, like, DM or no DMs, or how you feel about that. I would love to hear that, because I really think that is the key to Instagram, is going where your audience is, right? Going to them rather than posting and hoping. That's really a passive stance, right? That's really a passive stance in your business, I think. But Instagram allows you to reach out to them. You can find them, search for them, follow them, like them, start those conversations. I really think that's what the key to Instagram, the trick to Instagram is. It allows you to follow people, and they will most likely follow you back, and it allows you to reach out to them. More so than Facebook, right? And I do think the DMs in Instagram is, like, they're always cracking down on spammers and that kind of thing. So you have to be really careful about how many people you send, and all that kind of thing. But if you're just coming from a really genuine intention, I think you'll find the right tone and the right way to start asking people. So or starting those conversations. So I really think that's the trick to Instagram. So just to recap, really quick, number 1, if you want more follows, likes, and comments, follow, like, and comment your target audience. Number 2, take the next step. For anyone who's shown any interest, send them a DM. And I think the best way to start that conversation is, thanks so much for your love on this post, or I saw that you were interested in this. We're talking about that over in my Facebook group. Get them to your Facebook group. I think that is one of the things that has really helped me hone in and focus on where I'm sending people. I feel like oftentimes if we have a freebie over here, we've got this offer over here, we tend to be a little bit more sporadic, like, oh, this week I'm kind of talking about this week I'm talking about this, and it can be a little bit muddled, right? And not that any of those things are bad, but to really focus, help you as a business owner, just focus on, I'm sending everyone to this one place, my one funnel, if you will, right? That way you're just kind of focused on that, and then once you get people into your group, that's where you can really nurture and kind of grow that audience and get them in the mindset of whatever it is that you're offering. So I really think that is one of the most effective ways. So the third part of Instagram, and Samantha was asking about this as a particular question. If you're here, give me a little wave, Samantha. But what I think people are finding on Instagram is influencers, right? So if you are interested in working with influencers, I would definitely say that's something to look into. But here are some keys about working with influencers. Many of you have probably been approached in the DMs by someone who wants to perhaps either, is offering to give you maybe followers, or offering to, maybe show off your product or do a review so that, they're promising more followers or something like that. And they're asking you to pay for some kind of service where they will review your product or service or something like that. So I would just say be really careful, right, with influencers. Something that you probably want to do is obviously check their profile for influencers and see what kind of results they're getting. See what other products they are reviewing. So for Samantha's case, right, I think you're doing a book, right? You might be looking to have an exchange for like a book review type of thing. Or if there's another product that, or service you're looking for an influencer to talk about, those are some great ways, but you definitely want to make sure that influencer obviously has a fairly large following, but you want to take a step further and look at their posts. What other products are they pushing, services? Do you want to be associated with that? Who are their followers? Are their followers even in your target audience, right? It's really easy to look at their profile and then see who is following them, who are their followers. And if it is in your target audience, by all means, you could start following them, right? That's one step. But then see what their posts, what kind of engagement their posts are getting. If they're getting a lot of comments and interest in their posts, then that would be something to maybe pay attention to or be willing to pay for, right? So just be really careful, I would say. If people have approached you to review your product or something like that, I would definitely be really careful and do your research on that particular profile and how many results they're getting. I think the better way of finding influencers is you reaching out to them, right? Because most influencers, if they're successful, people are coming to them. They're not needing to reach out to you. So I would say that's probably, and I'm sure there's a lot of gray areas in between, but I would say if you're looking to work with an influencer, find one that matches your target audience, your products, your services, and is already getting great results. So they're already getting a lot of engagement on each of their posts, each of their reviews that they're doing. So that would definitely be something to think about, right? Is to really think about and find other influencers, and then you can kind of compare, right? And maybe the cost obviously is different. So you might have to, if you're wanting to pay less, you might have to find an influencer who does not have as big of a following, but then you can compare the results, right, to those larger profiles that are getting results and what they're charging. So that would be my biggest caveat with working with an influencer, is just really do your research and before you pay for something. But absolutely, I think it can be really effective, right? And definitely think about reaching out and finding, so that you have a little bit of negotiating tactics, right? That you can say, hey, I saw this other profile has 10,000 followers and they're getting, 10 comments per post or maybe more, what can you offer, kind of a thing. So that would be my big caveat with working with influencers. If you have any other questions about influencers, feel free to post below. Or if you have a success story, right, or a not success story working with influencers, we would love to hear it in the comments below. So feel free to tell us below. So the fourth thing I want to say about Instagram, and this is maybe something a little bit to do with influencers, but again, because Instagram is so not clickable, right? You really have to take, I think, another way of thinking about how to get people to engage. So many of you are probably already doing this, but definitely think about a call to action. I think I see this so much on Instagram, where people are sharing really long posts on Instagram, and it might be the same posts that they're doing on Facebook. And I don't know about you guys, right? I'm mostly scrolling on Instagram. Very rarely do I stop and read the see more in the post, right? You have to, one, click on the see more, and then if it's really long, I'm usually just gonna scroll by. So I think the biggest trick around that is to add your call to action in the top. You can still have your long post, a lot of words, and then also have it at the bottom. So if your call to action, make it really simple for your audience, right? It's not going to be click here because you just can't click on Instagram. It might be check the link in my bio. That's probably getting a little bit old, right? And I've heard some stories, right? I think Instagram might be starting to filter that out. I don't really know if that's true because it's the only place that's clickable. So it's all we've got, right? But I would think about another way, right? A call to action. So really think about, I probably overuse this, but I often say yes below, right? That's a really quick thing. Like, hey, if you are interested in this thing, say yes. But you can get creative, right? Like drop an emoji if you feel like, if you feel like you're doubting yourself, drop an emoji. If you feel like you are wanting meal prep ideas, drop a little plate below, or, you could get really creative about things like that. I think the easier things are some words, right? And make it really simple for your audience, something that resonates. So if it's like, man, are you struggling with XYZ? Type XYZ below, or struggle below, or the struggle is real, or, something cute. Definitely make it simple so that it's really almost an impulse, right? That they're scrolling and they see in the comments, or even in your video, right? If it says say yes below, or, in the text, it's real easy for people to know what to do. You've got to make it easy for your audience and tell them what to do. Tell them how to contact you, how to, right? And the easiest thing is to drop a comment so that you then can reach out to them, right? If they're your potential audience, if they're your potential customer, I think it's okay to make you work for it a little bit, right? Like, all they have to do is make it easy for them. All they have to do is drop a comment, and then it's your job to follow up, right? To reach out to them directly, send them a DM, comment on their stuff, and you take that action, right? You're taking a more direct kind of stance. So I really think that is kind of the fourth key Instagram trick, is to use a call to action in your posts to really get people to take action. Drop a yes, do you like, whatever, this or that, say this or that, or, whichever. Are you struggling with, health? Just say health below. Are you struggling with mindset? Just say mindset below. All of those right types of things, those keywords that it's really easy and resonating for people to type. If it's a problem, I think it's a little bit harder for people to maybe admit that their problem is real, right? So it could just be like a yes, right? I think yes is a really easy thing for people to say, and it's easy for you to keep track of, right? If you're using a different word, I see this a lot too. If you're using a different word for different posts, if you can keep track of that, that's awesome. But for me, I use yes because whenever I get a notification of a yes, I know what to do, right? Otherwise, if they said something else, a word, I got to remember what I told them, what word, it gets a little bit confusing. So make it easy on yourself. We're all busy. So definitely make it easy so that you can follow up. But that would be the goal. So just to recap, right, these are the 4 Instagram tricks that I think are really key to making Instagram work for you. If it's not working for you, let's talk, right? Let's really talk about a better strategy. So to make Instagram the best for you, I definitely would say follow, like, and comment on your target audience so that you in return get more follows, likes, and comments. Number 2, think about taking that active step. Direct message people in your target audience who have shown any interest. If they have liked, commented, or followed you, I think that's an open door for, hey, I saw that you liked or commented on my thing. I would love to talk to you about my thing. I'd love to have you over in my Facebook group where we're talking about my thing, right? Whatever kind of makes sense to start that genuine conversation. Then number 3, if you're thinking about influencers, definitely do your research, right? Look at their profile. What kind of results are they getting? What kind of audience are they getting? They could have 10,000 followers and not one person is commenting on their posts. So take that little deeper dive, right, to find what kind of response and what kind of engagement they're actually getting. Another step is to actually reach out to the people that are there doing reviews, right? See who they've asked them for a reference, right? Hey, I'd love to talk to someone else who has done this review with you, right? If they're open and they're getting great results, they're going to be open to sending you those references. Or you can see who they are. They'll usually tag the person in their post, or that person will have commented on their post. So just take that little extra step to do a little research and make sure you're getting your money's worth, right? If you're paying, I don't know, $20 or $100 or more for an influencer to show off your stuff, you want to make sure that it's worth your money, right? That you're going to get actual, and make it really clear what you want people to do. So if it's a yes, right? Like if your influencers like say yes if you're interested in this book, or if you're interested in this freebie, that's your job then to follow up. So make it really clear whatever that action is that you want the influencer to do, or how you want to get people into your world. So that would really be the goal of influencers. And then the fourth thing, like we talked about, is really taking that call to action. So Instagram is so very not clickable, right? So to make it easy for your customers, if they're interested in your thing, say yes below, right? If they're interested, give them a call to action in, I would say, the top of your post, so that they don't have to click the see more. If they're interested, right? Interested, just say yes. Then you can talk, for the longer posts, you can talk and give more information about what it is that you wanted to talk about, and then put that call to action at the bottom. So it's okay to have it twice, so that, the lazy people probably like me that are just scrolling don't have to click the see more, right? Like just make it really easy, like yes, if they want that, yes, right? Something quick and easy that they are resonating, that is like an impulse. Like whatever your question is in your post, if it's do you struggle with blah blah blah, yes, right? Make it really easy for that to be like the next thing that they want to do, if that applies to them, obviously. So that would really be the four tricks to Instagram that I wanted to talk about today. If you feel like you need a little bit extra help, right? If you feel like, okay, now what, right? So we talked about and we didn't talk about what to post, right? What I'm finding is that most people are not struggling with content, right? Most people are struggling with, okay, I'm putting all this information out, now what? So if you feel like you're kind of at that now what stage, where you feel like, okay, yes, I would like to DM people, but I have no idea what to say, that's something I can really help with. I'd love to help you set up a little DM script, or, have a really system. So I'm a big believer in systems, creating systems to make it easy. If it's not in your system, it's not going to be a habit, and you're not going to be consistent. And the best way to grow your business is to be consistent every day, doing the things that are most effective for you, not the busy work, right? Not just the posting, perfecting, making it prettier. Those things might not be effective for your target audience or getting actual leads. So if you're really struggling with kind of that overall strategy, I would love to talk. I would love to sit down with you and discuss maybe the pain points, right, of course, of where you feel like the gap is in getting those actual leads to your system, to your world, so that you can warm them up. So if you're really feeling like you need a little extra help, or you'd love to talk, just say strategy below. I would love to reach out to you and set up a time to hear more about what you've been trying and maybe how I can help. So I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can just post in the comments below, or you can always send me a messenger here on Facebook, or in the DMs if we're on Instagram together. You can send me a DM there. So thanks so much for watching.